What's up, poker players? Hope you guys are out there crushing it on the tables. Welcome back to Season 2 here on DK Poker. I'm Daniel Kaufman. It's been a little while since we made a video, but not much has changed. We are still playing on America's Card Room and still crushing the micros. I believe the last video we did, I was cashing out. I was going to do a review of all of the cash out options. That didn't actually happen because the Bitcoin cash out is so efficient and Bitcoin has absolutely been killing it. So I continued to just cash out with Bitcoin. I left, I think, about $500 in there right now. Not an extremely large bankroll, but enough to play some of the events in the OSS series coming up on America's Card Room. If you guys are interested to see what I did with the Bitcoin after I cashed out, I made a couple videos on my personal channel. I will leave the link down in the video description. Started out trying a little trading in the crypto markets. Did okay, but then stumbled upon cloud mining. You guys got to check this out. There is a huge opportunity right here to generate some big time passive income. I think within another year, with our $50 deposit on America's Card Room last year, we should be able to turn that into 100K between poker and the crypto markets. But that's not what you guys are here for. Let's jump into some of the poker hands and sessions that we have been playing over the last couple months. And now we've got Hold'em Manager 2 fired up. Put in a filter for all of our sessions after May 17th, which was when we ended the challenge and was our last video. There's actually some tourney videos that I streamed since then, but I don't think we had any cash games in there. Our winnings are a measly $180 at a slightly winning rate of 0.81 big blinds per 100 hands. Only 38,000 hands. That is way less than what we were playing during the challenge. We were putting in about that many every week or two during the challenge. So our gameplay has slowed down quite a bit, but that's going to change. Let's get back into it. Get all the hands up here and let's filter it. I guess we got to select all of these sessions, and there all the hands are. Filter it down by the most big blinds. And in this hand we have pocket jacks playing at the 25 NL table, 7-handed, and in the hijack position. Under the gun opens with a 3x raise. We elect to just call in this spot. I definitely think a 3-bet was probably a better option here, but that 3-bet comes anyway from the player to our left in the cutoff position. Looks to be a recreational player, but has a fairly deep stack at this 25 NL table. Under the gun completes, and we also complete. I don't mind this call right here to see a flop against a player who only 3-bets 2.4% of hands. We are actually probably behind most of that range with the pocket jacks, but not anymore. We wind up flopping top set. There's 845 already in the pot and 2230 in the effective stack. We are against two deep stacks with top set. This is going to work out great for us, especially when we see what our opponents have here. Under the gun checks. We also check. The pre-flop 3-better continues with 525, about 2/3 pot. Under the gun puts in the min raise. I have a feeling we're just going to be calling right here, which is exactly what we do. And the cutoff player jams, gets it all in. We've only got 1105 left in the effective stack. That is going to be getting in the middle. The under the gun player is also in the middle, but we have the nuts right now. Let's just fade a spade or running straight cards. 10 gives one more out to the under the gun player, but gives us a full house. All we have to do is fade a 10 on the river. There it is, and there is an almost $75 pot with the full boat. Took down almost 200 big blinds, almost 2 buy-ins with that pot. Not bad. Next hand, we have ace king in the cutoff, 6-handed this time. Again, we're at the 25 NL table. We open to 3x, small blind calls, and the big blind jams all in. Big blind looks to be recreational as well as the small blind. Very high 3-bet percentage, 25% from the big blind when in the big blind. But it's not like we would ever get rid of this hand anyway. The question is, do we want to try to isolate? And I think a call is probably a better option. I think we are dominating Love Vodka's range here in the small blind. So that is exactly what I do. And Love Vodka also comes along. There's now 28-38 in the pot, and we wind up flopping top pair, top kicker. Love Vodka checks. We also check, keeping our hand quite disguised here. There's not a lot of scare cards here. A club could be a scare card, but that is only a small portion of Love Vodka's range. 6 of diamonds comes on the turn. Pretty inconsequential card. Love Vodka checks, and this time we put in a bet, make it 850 to see the river. Love Vodka calls, and the club comes in on the river, but I think if Love Vodka did have the club draw, I think he probably would have let out on the turn. So I'm honestly not really that scared of that club on the river, and Love Vodka checks. This time we are going to be betting again for value. Get Love Vodka all in, and he makes a call with top pair 10 kicker, and we take down this large pot of $83. And here's a good classic cooler. We have pocket aces up against pocket kings, and we are both deep stacked. The Weekend is a regular player, puts in the 4 bets. I just called the 4 bet here. Wait, I remember this hand. This was last night. Disguise the aces. I know that the Weekend only 4 bets with premium hands, so we can narrow his range down completely. We don't want him to be folding the ace kings, the pocket queens, which could possibly happen if we put in a 5 bet here. We see a flop of 10 high two-tone, 2 hearts. We have the backdoor nut flush draw as well as the aces over the board. Put in a continuation bet of $7. The Weekend just calls. 10 comes on the turn. Doesn't really have any effect on the hand. There aren't any 10 combos that are going to be left in the Weekend's range if he's only 4 betting premium hands. So we can definitely get it in here on the turn. We're going to be getting calls from queens, kings. The ace king is pretty much out of the question now. Probably would have gotten rid of that on the flop, and definitely will be getting rid of it to any bet here on the turn. And he does make the call with the kings. We fade the king on the river, and we take down this $78 pot. And here's an interesting one at the 5 NL table. Not a huge loss, but we did wind up losing over 100 big blinds on this hand. We open up aces under the gun +1. We get a 3 bet from the button. Big blind jams. We 4 bet. Cincy Joe calls. There's $375 in the pot, $506 left in the effective stack. Flop is pretty dry, queen high, just check here, and Cincy Joe checks back. This time we are going to be betting for value, bet half pot. Cincy Joe calls. 7 of hearts on the river, again going to bet for value. Really only losing to hands like pocket 8s or pocket queens. You could argue for a check here to try to bluff induce, but I think since we're this far into the hand and when we put in the rest of our chips, we're going to be getting called from a lot of the showdown value type hands within Cincy Joe's range, especially since he doesn't fold to any rivers over the 156 hand sample that we have on him. So I get it in, and I see the bad news that we were up against pocket queens with a flop set, and we lose this hand. Luckily, it was at the 5 NL table, and it was only $13 in that pot. Here is another recent hand at the 25 NL table. This time we are playing from the small blind with ace queen of hearts. 9 players being dealt into this one. Folds around to the cutoff, who opens to a little bit less than 3x. The button calls, and we are going to be putting in a 3 bet here. Make it 305 to go. Cutoff calls, and the button calls as well. 940 in the pot. We are all playing at over 100 big blinds deep. Flop is pretty good for us. We flop top pair, top kicker. Elect to just check here against 2 regular players who have high fold tendencies to flop bets, and it checks around. Deuce does not scare us at all here on the turn, and this time we lead out for 475. We get a call from the cutoff, and the button folds. When we get a call here, I think that we're probably up against a pair in between 6s and queens, possibly some queen combos, maybe a flush draw combo or 2 in there. And Another 2 comes on the river. Again, that card does not hurt us very much. I don't think we're going to be up against many pocket 6s or pocket 4s in this spot. If we bet again, we're probably only going to get called by the queen combos. We might get a crying call from some of the pairs between 6s and queens, but when we check, we keep all the bluffs within our opponent's range. So we do check, and our opponent jams. Never going to be folding in this spot. Make the call and see that we have our opponent outkicked, and we take down this $63 pot. And the last hand we're going to take a look at was from last night's session. I have pocket 5s playing on the button at the 10 NL table. We get an open from Under the Gun +2, a recreational player. It is a min raise. A call from the middle position player. Hijack also calls, and we're just going to take a flop here with our pocket 5s, do a little set mining on the button, so I call as well. And there's the set we were looking for, 95 cents in the pot, and we are playing on the button with a very strong hand here. Middle position player bets 2/3 pot. I elect to just call here. There's no point in raising quite yet, and the turn is another 8. We now have a full house, and once again, the middle position player bets 2/3 pot. This player is somewhat regular, decent numbers, playing against a min open in middle position. I could see some 8-7 suited combos, some 8-9 suited combos, and pocket 7s also playing it this way, as well as any pair that could be over the board here. Maybe something like ace-8 suited. There's only one combo of 8-7 left that our opponent could have, because 3 of the other suits are on the board already, which means there's no chance he could have the 8-7 of those suits. So we're losing to one combo of 8-7 suited and a few combos of pocket 7s, but that's really about it. We are dominating most of our opponent's range here. So I put in the raise, make it pretty affordable, so any of those over pairs, like 9s, 10s, possibly jacks, that would play it this way would come along with a crying call here on the turn. He does make a call. Deuce comes on the river, and our opponent checks. I definitely think we're good here, and I don't see our opponent folding many hands at this point in the hand. So I jam the rest of the chips in, and we were up against that one combo of 8-7. Just pretty much unlucky in this spot. Can't really get away from this. I think we definitely need to be betting for value here. One of those coolers. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button if you haven't done that yet. We're going to be getting back on a regular schedule of videos coming out. Going to be playing the OSS series on America's Card Room starting tomorrow. Continue playing the cash games on America's Card Room. Thinking about checking out some of the other online poker options for US players, and going to be getting in some live action as well, and try to get in enough hands so that we can analyze our live play against how we've done on America's Card Room over the last year. If you want to play along with me on America's Card Room, the link is down in the video description. You can use promo code DKPoker to receive a $1,000 cash deposit bonus. If you have any comments or questions, leave those in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, poker players, and I will see you guys out on the online felt. Be free.